So, we're back, are we? Perfect! Like I need to rant on about these bosses. Let's just get this over with! What?
Any last words?
Just give me your name.
When the gatekeeper to hell asks who sent you, tell him it was Shinobu Jacobs.
Yes, sir.
For as much as I love the Skylanders series, I'm not going to deny that it is a bit of a seesaw in quality. It's incredibly mixed most of the time, and in every department. Characters, Skylanders, levels, entire games, and particularly boss fights. On the one hand, they range from being good to take my money, just take it! And on the other hand, they range from being not so good to die in a hole. And as for my least favorite boss from the series, I'm not going to let it be masqueraded by the fact that it's in one of my favorite games of all time, let alone my favorite game in the series. Count Money Bone Skylanders Supercharger sucks! I hope you're all strapped in, because I've got a doozy in store for all. I absolutely, totally, completely, without any doubt or hesitation, despise the Count Moneybone boss fight! So what's wrong with it? Quite a lot, actually! Before we go too far, I probably should point out the game's vehicle mechanics first. Superchargers has quite a big emphasis on its vehicle sections of all disciplines, land, sea, and sky, and in my opinion, it executes them really well. Most of the time. There are moments where the controls are complete arse and the actual segment isn't well designed at all. Land vehicle combat is pretty much the worst of these possible, especially in arena-esque environments. 3 guesses how we fight Moneybone! Yes! You're fighting him with this piece of garbage land vehicle combat! Oh, lovely. But that's only the tip of the Titanic sinking iceberg. It's much worse from here on. At the start of the fight, Moneybone will chase after you with his robot, leaving fiery paths behind it. That's okay! What isn't okay is that after a while, he will fire up an attack that will force you through a perspective gate if you don't go through one on your own will, while taking a ton of damage in the process. Just so you know, perspective gates were a gimmick for the level the Count Moneybone boss is set in, wherein walking through one flips your gravitational pull while teleporting you elsewhere. Yeah, it can be pretty nauseating. And hell to control on a land vehicle! Because of how poor land vehicles are to steer in arena environments, take a guess how awkward it feels to drive them while sideways! It's disorienting, I tell ya! Oh, and you can't just go back through a perspective gate after entering one because Moneybone will shut them all off! You will have to wait until they reactivate to normalize everything! But wait! There's more! After entering a perspective gate, Moneybone will start firing laser beams at you, with absolute garbage aim mind, while the gates are inactive to keep you on your toes. But that's not even the worst part! The worst part is that after a while, he will summon these annoying swarm of enemies that, if they make any sort of contact with you, will latch onto your vehicle, slow you down, and damage you in the process. And they will chase you down through anything! This includes entering a perspective gate! When you put both the swarmers and the laser beams together, you begin to realize that neither one is as easy to dodge as the other. In other words, there is never a safe moment in this fight! And to make matters even more annoying for you is that Moneybone does not stop whinging!
I wasn't ready yet! Let's try that again! Impossible! My skills are supreme! Hey, stop doing that! It's quite effective and annoying!
Yeah, I can say the same thing about you too, mate! So, let's quickly sum up. Ropey controls, an awkward gimmick, annoying attacks, an opponent that doesn't shut up, and a fight that just goes on and on and on! Sounds like the blend of everything you need to make the most annoying boss fight in a video game. And yeah, that's exactly what Count Moneybone is for me. The most annoying boss fight I have ever faced! What a way to kick off talking about my favorite game in the franchise.
So, ready yourself for battle, Skylander, and prepare to wallow in a footbath of epic failure!
You may have noticed a pattern on this list. I either hate early bosses that are agonizing, or final bosses that are pathetic. And this next entry? It's the last final boss on the list. Take a random guess where this is going. If you didn't see my first countdown, then you probably don't know. But for those who did, You should have seen this coming! Oh my god, do I have to talk about this stupid excuse for a boss battle? Fine. You know how I have problems with Crash Bandicoot 2? Well, this boss doesn't freaking help! If you can even call it a boss battle. The game has this amazing build-up and story developing as you play it, leaning towards what should be a really interesting finale. And yet we got this. What were Naughty Dog smoking when they made this? I'd like some of it too, you know, because this is just garbage! All that you do in this boss fight is chase after Cortex, spinning 3 times, game, set, match sticks, so I can set this pile of trash on fire! That is literally it! Nothing else happens! Cortex doesn't even bother trying to attack you or trying to stop you! The only hindrances in this boss fight are space debris which gets in your way, and the force field at the end that acts as your death! In other words, if Cortex reaches the end before you defeat him, you'll lose a life! On its own, it's a bad idea! What makes it even worse is the jetpack, because it's a ridiculous double-edged sword! Those who have mastered the jetpack, like me, can easily defeat Cortex in less than 30 seconds! Those who are terrible with the jetpack, which incidentally was only introduced in the final warp room, so you have little time to learn it, will find this boss aggravating and annoying! It's a bad boss for 2 different reasons for the one gimmick! This boss is just terrible! This might as well be the worst boss fight I have ever faced! And you know what? I think I'll call it now! This is the worst boss I have ever faced! The only positive about this boss is the music, which given that this is Crash Bandicoot 2, is a no-brainer. I guess it's time to move on to the utter horror that awaits me now.
Crash, what do you suppose happened to Cortex? And what about the Cortex Vortex? It's still up there.
Nope, nope. You've done enough ranting and shouting for 2 videos. Stay cool, stay calm, stay collected, stay composed, be professional. Alright, I'm good. I'm not going to bother building up. I don't have any reason to. You want to know why? Because this boss is one thing and one word. Infamous. It is shrouded in horror stories and nightmares. It is the nerve center of pain and torture. Do you have any idea where I'm going with this?
Travis! Took you long enough.
Nah. I didn't actually mind the fight against Jasper. Why, however, is irrelevant. Besides, I've got something even worse.
Ah, this is bad!
I regret everything! I regret everything I've ever done!
I am ordering you to kill me! Please, 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 God, kill me!
Last will and testament? Leave everything to Coco Bandicoot. Let's get this over with. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Autobus Rex, one of, if not the, most infamous boss fights in video game history. And why is that? Oh yeah, because everything this boss! I have a seeming ire for this boss fight. And do you know why that is? It's because Autobus Rex just uses us as his punching bag. If he were a real thing, he'd be taking narcissistic pleasure out of our pain. Anyone that has heard of Pac-Man World has probably heard of this boss, and therefore has probably heard of the stories that surround it. And if you haven't, I'll spare you the Bible-sized Book of Nightmares and just put it simple. Nothing, I repeat, nothing about this boss is remotely fair. The idea of this boss is to churn 4 red pads enough to open up Rex's arms and reveal his heart to damage him. It's simple and pretty boring, but it's what happens every time you damage him that makes this boss a burden. Before damaging him, the only hazards you have to worry about are the fireballs that are lobbing out of the lava. Well, I suppose that counts as a hazard as well. Nothing too bad really, but once you damage him once, be ready for the nightmare to commence, because with every hit, he has a new attack to play. After one hit, Rex starts unleashing tornadoes that can not only damage you, but slow your movement down to I'm imploded into the floor here with my ×10 brass beast. So if you get caught over the lava, it's a death. You gotta love him. After 2 hits, he starts firing meteors down from the sky, which I swear can telepath where I'm going. I mean, look at this here! Explain that! And after the 3rd hit, you're screwed. He unleashes a powerful laser attack that sweeps from the left side of the level to the right before pausing briefly and starting over. And this one attack has the most unfair hitbox I have ever seen! Just look at this! It's sickening how unfair it is! Thankfully, he only takes 4 hits before he is defeated, so the nightmare ends after that. Probably the only good thing about this fight. And in case you missed it, I said he adds new attacks every time you damage him. He doesn't replace any of them. He literally adds new attacks on top of one another to create a boss that has too much going on at once to keep track of. You want to go and open up Rexy's arms, but the boss's design will pretty much deny you that at every possible chance. Since you can only take 4 hits in Pac-Man World before losing your life, you cannot afford to take damage at all during this fight. And because you have to charge up 4 pads to fully open Rexy's arms, that means you have to take less than 1 hit per pad. Aside from the physical impossibility of half a damage, you have to avoid damage at every possible chance. And just as soon as you think I said enough, but wait! There's more! Once you open up Rex's arms and reveal his heart completely, you have to hot-foot it to the central platform and attack. Otherwise, they close up again and you have to start all over. Imagine doing that on your last hit point. Talk about agony! And if you do proceed to attack Rex's heart quick enough, make sure you are between the arms when they close up, or you die instantly. I'm not even joking! Admittedly, both of these scenarios are extremely situational, but they're unfortunate moments to be caught up in. Nobody likes starting over from the beginning, nor do they like being insta-killed. But it's okay, I'm calm. I can face this boss calm. I can face this boss calm. I can beat this boss calm. I can face this boss calm. I can beat this boss. I've had enough of being calm! I hate this boss for being a thing of my video game life! So it then raises a question. How did Namco let this devil-imbued boss battle see the light of day? Well, I have the answer for you. They didn't properly playtest it. They ran out of time to finish working on the game and get the final details all polished up, meaning that they released the game in a final beta state. Net result, they unleashed hell onto the world that shouldn't even be a thing, especially when you're celebrating 20 years of Pac-Man. Count Moneybone was the most annoying boss I have ever faced. Dr. Cortex was the worst boss I have ever faced. But Honorable's Rex is the straight up most unfair and unenjoyable boss I have ever faced. It will forever be my least favorite boss battle. I'm the primordial Clok-Roo, and while I have nothing against Pac-Man World, heck, it's one of my favorite 3D platformers, I can never support how inconsistent the difficulty is in this game. When you have to face the hardest boss in the first half of the game, you know you messed up. Especially when the second half has some of the easiest bosses in the game. At least those ones were fun! F*** you, Honorable's Rex!